Hi there, Z here, and for a while I have actually had a few people ask me, hey, when are you going to do Fortnite Battle Royale? When are you going to play that? You made 2 different reviews on PlayerUnknown, but you refuse to do Battle Royale. Yes, I realize 2 reviews of the same game might be overkill, and it might show my biases a little bit, but I thought, hey, clear mind, clear mind. So what I did was I installed it, I played it for about 20 hours, and then I uninstalled it. Very disappointed. I know, I'm giving away my bias a little early here, but just go along with it for a bit, because for a while now, these 2 fan bases have been just butting heads like crazy. The PUBG and the Fortnite people have just been bashing heads ever since Battle Royale first came out. And they've just been slinging shit at each other. Ah, we're better. No, we're better. And the king of the kill people have just been sitting in the background like, dance, puppets, dance, eating fucking popcorn and jerking themselves off or something like that. So yes, I am going to be making a video. I'm going to be making a video on Fortnite, but it's going to be a little bit of a different review that I typically do. This one, I'm going to take these 2 games, which are incredibly similar, just so similar that if both of these came from the same digital woman's vagina, that woman was not very faithful to her digital husband, okay? So I'm going to take both of these and I'm going to match multiple things that both of them have, and I'm going to see which one does it better, give that one a point, at the very end count all the points, and then that's where we're going to find out, and I'll give my final decision here. So, and I'm going to call it point counterpoint. That's a good one. Even though there's no counterpointing, it's just me making points for both of them. All points matter. All points matter. Never mind, that could get really political very quickly. Not a good idea. I will do it just the point. Okay, I'm not very good at this, alright? Just start with the fucking video. I'll figure it out after editing here. Can we just not make me look like a jackass so early in this video? Please? Please? This category is the time before you drop into the map where chaos meets cancer and people run around fighting each other, shooting guns, throwing grenades, all to no avail since everybody is invincible. It's just pissing some time away until the game actually starts. And yeah, both sides are just as annoying as the other, with the constant shooting and people hitting you while you stand there like a brain-dead idiot, but I'll have to give the very first point to Fortnite, actually, for the simple act of cutting the timer to 6 seconds if the lobby is almost full. I swear to God, the times I had to stand around getting punched in the face by some assholes in PUBG, I could have cured cancer. And then half of the community would be gone, so point to Fortnite! Oh, and actually, this would be a good time to even up the score and give a point to PUBG as well, since they don't make me change my gender and race more than a liberal arts student on her period.
I'm so happy, oh, happy, lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't want...
So, give 1 point to PUBG for letting me keep my identity. The drop. Now the drop between these 2 games is actually very different. First, let's talk about the transportation device dropping you all off. In PUBG, you get a hulking, massive airplane that slowly works its way over the landscape, droning and droning and droning its one note while you choose your area of attack. Fairly boring. Fortnite, on the other hand, has Thomas the fucking Tank Engine. Nah, just kidding. Actually, Fortnite has something called a party bus connected to a blimp thing. It doesn't really matter. Which is definitely more creative than a big plane. And I gotta give kudos points to the mini-map looking like Thomas the Tank Engine. So, Fortnite wins that point. But you cannot have something called the drop without a drop. Whereas in PUBG, the descent is slow, sluggish, and difficult to control. If you don't drop a certain several hundred feet behind your actual target, you might overshoot it. And even if you get to your desired location, you might glitch off what you were aiming for, leaving you more unsatisfied than my love life. But for Fortnite, it's fast-paced, very simple. The little, I don't know, anti-gravity lawn chair, is that what that is? I don't, like some sort of Martian lawn chair? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But it's really easy to maneuver around and takes forever to get to the ground. So, I'm going to give a point to PUBG, simply for the fact that even though the glitch can ruin your landing and kill all of your plans that you are making, I like that it takes more skill to land at the point that you're aiming for than just sitting in one spot and slowly waiting to land. PUBG also lets you control the speed at which you can descend, determining if you want to hit the ground as quickly as possible to grab a gun and start glacking everyone falling down, or glide far away to hopefully get away from the chaos and live more than 2 minutes. So, point goes to PUBG. And since the drop is the point where you typically choose your plan on the overhead of the map, I'll just throw in the map as a whole in this category. PUBG's map is massive and explorative. Even when a full 100 people drop, you can still find small settlements that haven't been picked over by other players, whereas Fortnite map seems a bit smaller. Let's kind of put science to this here. PUBG has an 8x8 kilometer map of land and ocean to go by, and since I haven't been able to really find anything about Fortnite's land area or how big it is or the metric system that it uses, I'll just assume that it has the same as PUBG's, since they pretty much took everything else from them. Fortnite has a 7x7 kilometer map, leaving much more to PUBG to explore and walk around in. And with how much slower paced PlayerUnknown is, it feels way bigger when you are desperately trying to outrun the blue line of death. And since I enjoy vast lands so I don't get shot at 5 people at once, 2 feet off the ground, point goes to PUBG. And while we're on the subject of gameplay, let's just dive a little bit deeper into that. Gameplay. To start out, let's just kind of fondle the elephant in the room and say that these two, even though they are so similar it's sickening, the actual gameplay is remarkably different. Let me ask you a question here. Do you like relaxing with a nice bottle of brandy, maybe smoking a good cigar, or maybe something a little bit more green, and sit back in an armchair just kind of pondering the qualifications of creating an above-average pornographic video? Or do you like smashing your face in a pillow of cocaine, grabbing a wireless nail gun, and chasing stray cats around your neighborhood, spraying and praying that you fucking hit one of them so they'll know not to fucking meow outside of your house at 2 o'clock in the morning? Well, that's the difference, guys. Those two things are exactly what it is. PUBG is slow, methodical. You see someone in the distance, but you know you don't have a gun that can shoot that far. So you try to keep in their blind spot and get close to them without them seeing you. Maybe duck and weave between some trees, duck in a bush, and hunt them down like you're trying to recreate the scene from Predator. Come on, kill me, I'm here! Come on, do it now, kill me! While Fortnite is spray and pray fun. Find a gun, hopefully it's an assault rifle or some sort of automatic. Just try to kill the other person while jumping all around to avoid them hitting you back and making the entire thing a harder experience for them. It's chaotic, it's fast-paced, and it's just so different. So if I had to give a point to either one of these, it would definitely be PUBG because I like the whole chess feel of the game where you need to think 2 steps ahead of what other people are thinking. Is there someone in that building or hiding in those bushes? Or where would someone be heading if they were here and no longer here? Look, there's other buildings over there that have been looted. Maybe they've been over there. Let me follow this. But actually, I'm going to be throwing this point out completely since it's so subjective. But the actual gameplay only comes secondhand to the weapons that you can find within the game, am I right? And in PUBG, it's incredibly vast. You have 31 unique weapons to cause as much mayhem and chaos as you can, including pistols, assault rifles, submachine guns, snipers, shotguns, and melee weaponry, as well as 4 different types of grenade and 38 attachments. Very big inventory. Fortnite has around 14 unique weapons, including pistols, assault rifles, submachine guns, snipers, shotguns, grenade launchers, and rocket launchers with, as far as I saw, 1 type of grenade. Okay, alright, stop. I can already hear the Fortnite fans typing, it's okay. It's difficult to determine this because unlike PUBG, where you can just plop a silencer on any old gun that you have or other attachments to your gun, in Fortnite you have to find them already attached. So you could argue that submachine gun and a silenced submachine gun are unique since they're different. I'm not thinking that way, though. Not at all. They both shoot the same, they both have the same basic range, whereas in PUBG, the AKM is a different assault rifle completely than the M16 or the SCAR, and shoots completely different at the same time. Some assault rifles have more damage and shoot further, but some have more kick and less accuracy. Some you can attach more things to than others, making the shooting steadier and making it more deadly. It's so much different. And, okay, I'm just going to explain to completion. For Fortnite, some guns have different rarities on them, and the higher the rarity, the more damage they do, but nothing's really more than that. I mean, the point goes to PUBG, hands down. And one thing I would actually like to mention next is the lag. How are the servers to these games? How smoothly do they run? Even though PUBG has a much larger active player base, they also have more money. So I feel like it evens out. Even though they have more traffic, they should be putting more money to making things even more smoother. And at the beginning of every PUBG game, you'll have an experience akin to those nightmares where something's killing you or attacking you, like a dog's biting your throat out or you're inhaling a noxious gas, and you can't talk and you can't scream out for help, you can't move, nothing seems to respond around you. Welcome to the first few minutes of when you land in PUBG. It's so laggy, I want to kill myself. It's the laggiest lag you've ever laggied into your laggy little fucking life. Doors won't open. Okay, hit it again and again and again. Oh, never mind, another door is opening and closing like it's a fucking poltergeist. Quick, someone has a gun. Pick up a gun on the floor right next to your feet. Pick up the gun, pick up the gun, pick up the gun. Okay, well, I'm dead now. Great, fantastic. The most frustrating experience in the entire game is the lag. But Fortnite, I didn't see hardly any. You land, you try to find a gun, you get killed trying to find a gun, you start all over again. But you know what? You live a clear, precise, streaming death that was totally your fault and you cannot blame on the lag. And I realize that PUBG takes a lot of computer power to do, but I'm still going to have to give it to Fortnite for having something so simple and for it just being smooth overall. And you know, this point may be a bit too biased, but you know, I probably won't even count it as a legitimate point, but I really do think it sucks that the only weapon in Fortnite that you can aim down is the snipers. There is absolutely no way that I have found that you can hone in your attack besides crouching and getting as close to the target as you can. So if someone is really, really far away and you're trying to hit them, all you have to do is aim in their general direction, crouch, and start shooting, and just pray to whatever god that you may follow that you might hit them. In PUBG, you can at least lead the bullet and look right down your scopes or your sight, so even if they are far away, you could shoot them and still be fairly accurate if you lead the bullet a little bit further. Fortnite, on the other hand, is like playing Dungeons & Dragons, where you roll a die and maybe you'll hit them, or maybe you'll wind up hitting the squirrel 8 yards away. Post-game. And the last thing I would like to talk about is the GUI and the reward system that's set up. For Fortnite, you got a pretty modern, simple, first-person shooter type of deal where you hit a certain level and they just give you stuff. Play more, kill more, stay alive longer, you'll rise through the levels even quicker, unlocking new costumes, different flying lawn chairs. I still don't even know what the fuck this is, but it's a good standard way of unlocking things. PUBG, on the other hand, has the classic capitalist system. You play, you do well, you get higher up on the overall count, get currency, use currency to buy, what else? Loot boxes, and from then on you just get random pieces of clothing. So, either way, both are usable, both are a standard, good way of using it. The GUI is simple to understand on either side. I don't know what more you want from me. How about we just give them both points? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the speed round, where I look at unique upper hands of each game, and give points to the elements that the games don't share, but I found worth mentioning. Let's start with Fortnite. The build function in this game is pretty great. It helps you with areas that you couldn't get to before, build structures to fight people, and overall is a game changer in some of the fights that you're in or when the circle's really small. It's great that you can do it if you realize how to utilize it. Destructive environments are also pretty great. If someone's holed up in an area, hey, bomb them out with 15 grenades, destroy the wall, and start blacking! The death screen in single player has a spectate mode for the entire game, so if you really want to see that dickhead who killed you die himself to somebody else, it gives you the chance to do so. A quick warning, if the person's doing extremely well, then you're stuck kind of watching the person win the entire game, so take it wherever you can. And for PUBG, attachments really do help determine how well you do in the game. If you have a gun with enough attachments, it makes the shooting easier and quite possibly might give you the upper advantage when the circle is small enough. Backpacks increase your weight limit, which helps you gather stuff that you don't technically need right now, but you might need if you find the correct weaponry for it. It's just a good thing to kind of determine what's going to be happening in the future and helps out a lot. Vehicles make driving from one end of the map to the other incredibly easy, but also it makes it difficult with the excess noise. It's a good trade-off for some people who might need to outrun a closing boundary or a volatile spot, but as soon as you stop and get out of the car, you might be under fire. Okay, fine, I lied. I'm adding the looking down the weapons as a point. I can't just ignore having the ability to look down a weapon is nothing important. It's incredibly important. It's probably one of the best things you could do in a shooting game. Okay, fine, leave your hate comments at the bottom. Look. Look. Everyone who knows me from my streams is aware when they first came into this video that I enjoy PUBG way more. I could count the points, but honestly, anyone sees that I enjoy PUBG just far more than Fortnite. I like the slow, methodical approach to the game over the land now, start shooting, and hopefully you'll hit somebody gameplay. The difference is literally how difficult you want your game. Slow-paced, harder gameplay, or fast-paced, arcadey type gameplay. But the reason why I did this particular review point by point is to show that Fortnite isn't the worst thing ever. PUBG is not the worst thing ever. Contrary to the statements I scream at my monitor whenever I die in either one of these games, neither one is a worthless game. But can we all stop pretending that one of the main reasons that people play Fortnite isn't because that it's free? And PUBG costs money? I'm not saying that it's the only reason overall. I will admit it's a faster paced game, it's more colorful, it's more playful, it's not as complicated as PUBG, it's just a simple run and gun multiplayer game, and I understand that. That's something that some people just want. They want a casual game, and that's all they fucking want, and God bless them for doing that. Go ahead, guys, you go ahead and have fun. It's just not something I'm looking for. I'm pulled towards PUBG because I do enjoy competitive gameplay, and I enjoy it as it is. So, PlayerUnknown fans, Fortnite fans, can't we all just get together, hold hands, and forget about our differences? It's getting to be that time of the year where the holidays just give you a warm, fuzzy feeling, you know? Where people eat, drink, and be geeky with friends and family. So why can't we do that with each other? And focus our hatred on those stupid King of the Kill fans. Come on, guys. It's 2017.